Good morning, everyone. Hello, bookmarks and bookworms. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am so excited. It is the long list announcement for what I consider to be my favourite book prize of the entire year, including the Booker, including the Women's, including all of the other smaller prizes that I follow. This is my absolute favourite. If you are new to the channel, I do highlight translated fiction on a regular basis, and this summer I am also hosting a Women in Translation Month readathon on this channel. So translated literature is I would say a big part of this channel. So this is my absolute favourite. This year I am super excited to see what this particular panel of judges are offering us, just because I was blown away by the people they've chosen to be judges this year in terms of their background, their education, what they've achieved, and it's really phenomenal. So I have really high hopes that we're going to have an amazing batch of translated fiction books to read. So I have the video loaded on my laptop. I'm going to press play now. No way! So the first book up is Selva Almada, which I mentioned in my predictions video is one of my absolute favourite authors. I've read two of her books, I've read three of her books actually. One was more of a non-fiction book, but the two fiction books that I read were The Wind That Lays Waste and Brickmakers, both of which were absolutely phenomenal, blew me away, 5-star reads for sure. The only reason I haven't read this new one, which is called Not a River, is because it's not actually out yet. Otherwise I would have, because it sounds brilliant. So I am so thrilled to see Selva Almada make the list. She's the first novel up. What a way to set the tone for me personally for this long list, having my favourite author pop up first. Right, okay, next one. Yeah, they've described the novel as feverish, and I would agree with that. All of her books have that tone to them. Ooh, okay, I've heard of this author before, and I've heard of the translator Daniel Han. It's set in Venezuela. This will be a really exciting one. Okay, third up is Jenny Erpenbeck's Kairos. This is on my TBR. I read Jenny's novel Visitation years and years ago, probably 3 years ago I read Visitation. I believe this is set in Berlin, somewhere in the late 20th century from what I remember. Yeah, 1980s Berlin it says on the screen. Oh, this is going to be so fun. Oh god, okay, right, so the next that's popped up is The Details by Aya Jenberg. I tried this over the summer last year. It's kind of about relationships between this girl group, and I wasn't hugely enamoured with it, so I did DNF this one last summer, but it might be one to revisit now that it's on the prize, just to give it a second go and see if anything's changed. This is so exciting, oh my word. Right, what's going to be up next? Oh, okay. Oh, interconnected short story set in a small Polish town. Okay, I've never heard of this. This is outside of my usual reading. I don't normally read short stories. No. Oh god. Okay. Right. Oh no. Right. Okay, the next book that's popped up is Meta 210. This is a piece of Korean fiction that I put onto my anticipated releases for 2024 video back in December. I picked this one up as a result of putting it on that list, thinking it was going to be nominated for this prize, and then ended up putting it down. So this book is about 600 pages long, focuses on the construction of a Korean railway line, so it's about 600 pages. I got through just over 100 pages of it and put it down because nothing had really happened in that first 100 pages, so I thought, well, do I really want to continue with another 500 pages of this? So yeah, I'm not surprised to see it on this list, just because I already had it on my radar as one that the judges could pick. But yeah, having already tried it, I'm kind of thinking, oh no, I'm not such a fan of this. Next up, what have we got? What have we got? Oh my gosh, okay. A Dictator Calls. I remember this cover, but I don't know anything about this book really. I just remember the cover because I've seen it kind of on my rounds. Oh, okay, this is a really weird one that's just popped up. The Silver Bone, this is a Russian novel, and it has this cartoony front cover that's making me think of kind of like Nordic or Scandi crime mystery novels. It has this sort of cartoonish graphic front cover, and it says it's a crime mystery set in 1919 Kiev. So this will be interesting. I'm not sure if I'd get on with this because it says that it's absurdist, so I'm not sure. Ah, okay, great. So the front, moving straight on to a totally different front cover vibe. Next up is What I'd Rather Not Think About, and this is screaming contemporary fiction, young woman moving through the world type of thing with the front cover with sort of just a block colour and then a little cutout with an image. I feel like that's very, yeah, contemporary fiction vibes front cover wise. Yeah, this one I have heard about. This one sounds really quite dramatic. This is about twins, one of which wants to commit suicide, and then about how the female twin, so the male twin wants to commit suicide, how the female twin is going to cope and adjust, basically. So this sounds really harrowing and probably not one that I would naturally gravitate towards just because of that theme. Okay, Lost on Me. Yes, I believe this is an Italian author. I have heard of this book before. Again, very contemporary vibes on the cover, which I like because this year I'm getting more into contemporary fiction rather than literary fiction necessarily. So yeah, I think this is based around a family, but I don't really know too much other than that about it. So I'm excited to read this one. So many new books for me to read. I absolutely love book prizes for this reason. Wow, okay. I'm so excited. I wonder how many of these are going to be easily available to me because I live in Bali. No, no. Oh God. Right. So the next book that's popped up is The House on Via Gemito. And I'm so devastated by this because when I was curating my particular long list predictions for the predictions video I posted several weeks ago, this was book number 14. This was the last book that I chopped before filming that video. Darn it. Oh well. Yeah, I have started reading this one actually. Yeah, it's kind of about fatherhood, toxic masculinity. We follow a dad who's an artist, but he's also quite violent towards his son. And yeah, this is also a long one. So Meta 210 is chunky. This one's chunky. Set in Naples after the Second World War, it says here. And yeah, I'll be interested to see how I get on with this because it's not, when I've started reading it, it's not been an instant I must continue with this novel sort of feeling. So yeah, maybe this is more of a slow burn, but we shall see. Domenico Staranone is a very famous Italian author, so quite rightly should be on a list like this. I wonder, we are getting towards the end of the video, and other popular well-established authors, Jon Fosse, Matthias Enard, have not popped up yet, that sort of thing. So I'm wondering if they're going to show up. Yoko Kawakami's husband also hasn't popped up, and I don't think there's been a Japanese novel so far on the list. So we'll see how this continues. But so far I'm loving what's on this list. Okay, what's going to be next? Oh, this is fantastic. Crooked Plough, Itamar. Okay, so this is I don't know much about this novel. That name is a Hispanic name. Okay, right, it's set in Brazil. Okay. Crooked Plough. Two Sisters, Violence, Brazil. Okay, I vaguely know this one. It's one that I've found on Goodreads and kind of explored, but I haven't looked at this seriously, so this will be a fresh book for me to explore. And I think the Bahia region is like the rural countryside, so. Ooh, yes, I know this one. This is Undiscovered, Gabriella Weiner. Okay, I like the front cover. The rest of it's not really screaming at me. This sounds more kind of non-fiction-y. It's about a bunch of artifacts and colonialism's surprising effects. So yeah, loving the front cover and the bear on it, and kind of the box within box within box. And we'll see. Yeah, this is a very, very exciting long list. Let's see what's coming up next. That's it? We're at the end. Oh my gosh. Is anyone seeing what I'm seeing? It's like the worst game of what's missing ever. Where's Fitz? What? Where's the blue cover? Oh dear. I've only just realised that. What? What do you mean there's no Fitzcarraldo? How is that even possible? There was only about 10 eligible. What, none of them made the list? And we know that's shocking because we know they've read them, because there's something in the criteria about publishers that have been nominated time and time again, which Fitzcarraldo have, get their books automatically in front of the judges, which means that Fitzcarraldo's books weren't good enough for this panel of judges this year. That is the biggest shock of this prize. Okay, I'm still thrilled with the books, but I just can't quite believe that they're not going to just like pop a Fitzcarraldo onto. There's going to be like a hand that comes in onto the screen and just puts a Fitzcarraldo on top of the pile. Like, just kidding, it's there. Wow. So no Matthias Hernard, no Jon Fosse, no Agustin Mayo. There were so many Fitzcarraldos as usual. Mild Vertigo, that was eligible. Wow, okay, I feel like I need to get like a black piece of fabric, not that I have one, and kind of put it over the metaphorical coffin of Fitzcarraldo. It's like, you had a good run, you had years you've been nominated for this thing, and then now it's all gone. Oh no. That's a shame because I absolutely love Fitzcarraldo as a publishing house. They publish great work, tons of translated stuff, but Charco Press is on the list through my favourite author, one of my favourite authors, Selva Almada. So yeah, I did a kind of set myself a personal challenge, I think 2 years ago, where every month I read 2 Fitzcarraldo titles and 2 Charco Press titles to try and get through their backlist, basically. And so I have gotten through the entire Charco Press backlist and the entire Fitzcarraldo editions backlist. So I'm very familiar with their work and their titles from both of those publishing houses, and absolutely love them. They pick out some really quirky gems that are always doing something different. So I am surprised to see Fitzcarraldo not making an appearance on this list, but it's fine. We will move on. There's one front cover that's kind of like has a slight hint of blue, so I guess we can just use that to kind of wean ourselves off of the Fitzcarraldo hype. So yeah, so I'm hoping you guys love the long list. It sounds really, really great. Lots of familiar titles in there, but also lots that I haven't gotten around to. And I'd say for me the biggest surprise on there is that one that kind of looks like cozy crime mystery from the outside. I think it's the Russian one set in Kiev, or at least either the author or the translator I think is Russian, but the author might not necessarily be Russian. But yeah. So over the next couple of days I will be sampling all of these, trying all of these books, probably even the ones I've read before, aside from Meta 210, which I read only a couple of months ago, so I don't feel like I need to refresh myself too much on that one. But I'll read all of these. Some of them actually aren't out yet, so the Selva Almada doesn't come out for a couple more days. Simpatia by Rodrigo Calderon is not out until end of March, so I won't be reading those two for obvious reasons. And then there is White Nights, which is not available on Kindle because it's by a smaller press, so they don't, and because I live in Bali, I need books to be digital because there aren't bookshops here that supply this kind of literature. So there are obviously bookshops, but they are supplying the big name authors, and they've been imported. So obviously they're like £20 a book sort of thing for a paperback. So it's just not feasible to buy books here really. So all my reading has to be digitized basically. Same with Crooked Plough. Crooked Plough is also not available on Kindle, so that will be one that's more difficult for me to read. So there are 4 out of the 13 that right now that I can't access because either they are not published or they're not on Kindle. The others I can, and I can start making my way through them. In terms of what I'm going to start with, I'm really keen to get to Kairos by Jenny Erpenbeck. That's definitely one of my priorities. Another priority would be probably the Italian novel, well, one of the Italian novels, Lost on Me. That also sounds like my sort of thing. So those are the 2 that I probably will start with. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this long list. How excited are you? How disappointed are you? I hope you're not too disappointed, because this is sounding like a really great long list. I know that there are, I'd say, less people following this prize than the Women's Prize and the Booker Prize, but I think that whilst it has a smaller following, I think it's definitely a mighty following. People who are really passionate about translated fiction and really kind of get behind this prize and really enjoy this prize. And as I say, it is my favourite prize of the year, so I'll be really excited to start reading these and also chatting with you about them all in the comments of my videos. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I shall see you very soon in the next video, guys. But I'll be talking about all of these books in more detail. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.